He is a civil engineer who has every intention to carry out his civic duty of voting. Isaac Mutua Mutemi knows of the skepticism many have about it, but on the 9th of August 2022, he intends to be at Nzawa Primary School, Mwingi West, Kitui County, to vote, and he submits why to Justice Wanjiko. We have the I Will Not Vote team. First, we have Daniel Gashomoko, a bodaboda operator in Nairobi, who is clear on his position. He is not voting and he will submit to this court why. We also have Richard Agutu, a man in his 50s who works in Nairobi and is also quite clear that he does not want to cast his vote on the 9th of August, with his reasons being tabled before this court. Not everyone is as clear on this topic. We have a number of first-hand submissions by individuals from various parts of the country who will be telling the court why they are undecided about voting. Then we have those individuals who have voted many times over the years. The court will listen to wazee wa Kikumbuka and why, despite the cynicism, criticism and less than desirable state of the nation, they intend to be at the polling centers this time round in all their grey hair in its glory. This is Victor Nyongesa, the Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Agenda Kenya, a non-governmental organization that seeks to harness development through informed, innovative and value-driven youth engagement. He describes himself as a youth advocate and an advocate for participatory local governance in Kenya. He will be submitting to the News Court why it is important to vote. Court is in session. The people of the Republic of Kenya presiding. Your Honor, it truly is an honor to come before you to prosecute matters that matter to you. And Your Honor, this court acknowledges that you are about to go to the ballot to choose your next set of leaders. Justice Wanjiko, allow us to prosecute the matter of the importance of voting. First, let's hear what you, Your Honor, think about the issues that bedevil the country.
Vitu iko bei ya juu. Kama juzi tulikuwa tumesikia kwamba tuko tunapata cha unga ya 100, na ukipata hapo kweli ya kwamba inakuja siku moja inakuja inapotea. Watu wengi wameadhirika na maneno ya uchumi katika hii mji wa Baringo hii county.
Kwa sababu mwananchi ya Kenya sasa ako na changamoto ya uchumi imeenda juu, na ni kwa sababu ya chakula. Pili, uchumi imeenda juu, hata msasi kupeleka mtoto shule ni shida.
Corruption imejaa kila mahali. Kwa county governments, imejaa kwa national government.
Kitu inanisumbua mimi ni mambo ya security. Watu na wao wakiolela na ambaye si mzuri. Wakubwa yetu ile tumechagua hawataki kuja kutuangalia. Wanatuwajia sita mingi sana. Na ile kitu tena wanatusumbua ni mambo ya chakula. Hakuna chakula. Tunanunua kwa chakula kwa bei ghali. Mafuta iko bei ghali. Kila kitu maisha imekuwa mbaya sana.
When we are not operationalizing, when we are not implementing, when we are not making it work, the Constitution of Kenya 2010, that is one of the greatest problems that we have. If you look at the devolved system of governance, which is entrenched in the Constitution, again, it is yet to really kick off, despite having some time frames as per the schedules that were offered in the Constitution. Therefore, that is one of the greatest issues that is really bedeviling this country.
When I look at Kenya nowadays, I feel very sad because we have leaders that are not thinking about their citizens. When we choose them, we elect them, they go there, they only mind about their own kin and their interests.
When asked what bedevils Kenya, various Kenyans gave various reasons, and one of them, on top of the list, is the high cost of living. Another significant one is unemployment, then transport, infrastructure and roads, access to healthcare, quality education, corruption, access to clean water, insecurity and crime, empowerment of women and the youth, cost of doing business, and poverty reduction. These are the issues that have come up prominently on various analyses over time. So, Your Honor, mwananchi wa Kenya, citizen of the Republic of Kenya, what do you feel these issues can be addressed through? I would like to invite Rukia Bule to make her submissions to this court.
My lords and ladies, some people are quite excited and hopeful about the coming elections because they see an opportunity to pursue change. Allow me to table some first-person accounts from various parts of the country.
Kula nitapiga hapa Mwanyambo. Mimi naamini na IBC. Kwa hivyo ndio sasa nitapiga kura.
Kwangu mimi nitapiga kura nikiwa na imani kwamba Kenya inabadilika. Inabadilika kupitia nini? Waamuzi wa Kenya wanaamua.
Kama mkazi hapa mimi nitapiga kura kwa sababu hiyo inanisaidia mimi kimanufaa yangu na ni haki yangu kupiga kura.
I will vote definitely. Why? It is my constitutional right to vote. Always I've voted and I believe that my vote has always had a change in my life and in the life of Kenyans. There were times when we could not talk like this to the media. Even the media were not allowed to interview people in streets. Yeah. You could easily be picked up, both of us, and locked in.
I will vote because I don't want other people to make decisions on my behalf. Because if you don't vote, you leave others. They come and make decisions and you keep on lamenting. But we don't believe in lamentation.
I will wake up very early in the morning on 9th of August, God willing, to go and vote. My vote, combined with other votes from other people, will create impact during the elections.
As a citizen of this country, I feel that I have a democratic duty, a civic duty, to elect the leaders that I would want to see in the 6 positions of leadership.
Nikipiga kura yangu hata natamani siku hiyo ifike kwa sababu ninajua siku hiyo itakuwa na mabadiliko sana. Usipoenda haitapatikana, kura yangu itapotea. Na nikienda itaongeza mali. Maana tunataka amani.
Nitapiga kura hata kama ni moja, italeta mabadiliko katika Kenya.
Kienda kupiga kura, kila mtu apige kura kwa amani na usalama, tuache uchochezi.
They're quite clear on their decision, and to get more insight on this view, I invite Isaac Mutua to take the stand. Are you going to vote these elections?
Yes, I am.
Why do you want to vote?
I have several reasons. One, I believe it's my civic duty to vote. And secondly, I think it's important for me to be engaged in the political process. Over and above it being a duty, it's important for me to feel that I played my role, just as a psychological factor. Then the third, I believe in some way that my vote will count towards deciding who becomes my leader. So those are the reasons that will take me to the ballot.
Have you voted before?
Yeah, I have.
Some might say that the elections are predetermined and the vote doesn't matter. What's your view on this?
I think it's a complex discussion, and their worries have merit. But the biggest problem why I find it unable to join them is because they cannot prefer an alternative. They can't give me an alternative to not voting. So their not voting is just sort of a rebellion against the disaffection they feel about the political process. So if they were to suggest an alternative method that we can get involved in our politics, then I would listen. But as long as it's just about just staying away as a protest, then I don't feel that pathetic.
What difference do you hope your vote will make?
That's a tough one. So I acknowledge that there are many factors that go towards deciding who wins. So I am clear about that. But I do hope that if it comes down to small margins, then the votes that I make, the vote that I will cast, will be the deciding factor.
Thank you, Isaac. And that is the position of those who...
Interjection, Your Honor. While all this seems too convincing, the reality is not everyone is on board this let's vote bus. Isaac, if I may just ask you, there are Kenyans who have chosen to abstain from the coming elections. Do you think this will have an impact on the kind of leaders we choose?
Absolutely.
Why?
Voting, I mean, the whole electoral process is about numbers. So if there are people who don't take themselves to the voting booths, then their preference will not show on the final count. So that matters.
Thank you.
have decided not to vote because so far none of the candidates, whether at the ward, county or even at the national level, has convinced me that he or she deserves my vote. From the campaigns, we can easily tell that these are the people who are just power hungry and they want to occupy those positions so that they can satisfy their own interests. I'm not convinced that there is someone who, when he or she gets that position, one is going to do something that will benefit me directly as an individual. Most of the candidates who are vying for these seats have been in office. It's only that they have been holding different positions for the longest time ever. But these people will come to us today and they tell us they want to address our problems. They want to give us solution. What is it that they have not been doing for the past very many years that they have been in office and they want to get a solution today? So I don't think that is realistic.
Sitatokea kwenda kuvote sababu hata kutokea kwenda kuvote haina maana sana, sababu hata tukichaguana hao wakubwa wetu watutambui mahali. Sisi huaga tunajishughulikia. Sasa uchumi iko juu sana. Sasa alafu tena ushinde ukienda kuvote. Hata nikiweza ona kazi hiyo wakati ya kuvote mimi naweza ingia kazi. Hiyo siku ya uchaguzi mimi naweza rara. Na kama sitarara mimi naweza ingia tu haso yenye inaweza patikana ya kawaida.
Sisi uko ready kwa kupiga kura kulingana na zile manifesto hao wakubwa wetu wanatuajili nazo. Wakati watu wako nini? Wako kumashinani wakiomba kura. Hiyo mtu anakuja anakuletea manifesto yake anakuambia nikiingia tutafanya hii na hii na hii na hii. After that, yule mtu akiingia hata hakuna story kama hiyo. Kitu ya kwanza yule mtu hata utamuona. Na hata ukitumia zile mbinu at least utaweza kumfikia. Yule mtu ukimfikia ile ground anaingia nayo pale, hakuna kitu hata unaweza kumpata kwa ni promise. So hii mwaka ya leo mimi nimesema mimi si uko undecided kupiga. Niko tu undecided kupiga kura, sijui nifanye nini, lakini sitapiga kura mimi. Simu yangu tu nitaload tu mbando vizuri. Nitaingia tu mnet tu niendelee tu kuona vile tu kunaenda. Na kucomment zile nitaweza kucomment, lakini kwa kujitokeza tu kwa barabara kwenda kupanga line ati napiga kura, kwa hiyo siku mimi si uko.
I'm not impressed with the aspirant manifesto because it's a wrapped up manifesto. It's not clearly stating and how it is going to benefit the common person. We are unable to meet our basics, so we will go to work instead of going to vote.
This court now calls to the stand Richard Agutu and Daniel Gashamuku. If I may start with you, Richard.
Yes, sir.
Can you just tell the court why are you not voting in the coming elections?
As much as it is my democratic right to vote, but I've decided not to vote, abstain, due to the way the processes are. Currently, we have been voting for the last, I don't know how many years, but you find that even if you get determined to vote, there are systems in place that determine who becomes the leader at the end of the day. So you find that probably even if you vote, it's like having wasted the vote. And these politicians are just the same. They'll come here with so many cosmetic words to tell us on how enticing us to vote for them, and probably ridicule the opponent. But at the end of the day, you find them shaking hands and talking to each other. So I found that whether to vote and not to vote, just the same thing.
But if you don't cast your vote in the coming elections, do you think you have a right to complain if things go wrong after we vote in a new government?
Yeah, still as a citizen, I'll have a right to complain, because you'll find that even for those who have casted their votes, they'll also complain, because they'll put their votes in place that they're casting or they're voting for XY, and you find that probably that person is not the person who has been put in place as a leader.
Now over to you, Daniel. Let's just to ask you, what has informed your choice to abstain from the coming elections?
Kulingana na serikali ya Kenya penye iko sahihi, hata ukivoti ni kuharibu kura yako na kuharibu muda yako. Juu nilivoti last election, lakini kulingana na wale watu ulivoti, hakuna mtu aliingia, serikali ichagua tu. Ndio maana nimeamua sitavoti.
Lakini wewe kukosa kupiga kura katika uchaguzi ujao, pengine unaona kama itakuruhusu wewe pengine kuweza kuzungumzia serikali ijao iwapo watafaulu ama watafeli?
Naweza enda kuvoti ama niweze nikatae kwenda kuvoti, lakini hata nikienda ni kuharibu muda. Juu nikivoti, yes, niko na hamu ya kuchagua mwenye anataka, lakini serikali itachagua mwenye anataka, si mimi, ni serikali nasema.
Na baada ya kuapishwa kwa wao viongozi ambao watachaguliwa, je, unaona kama una haki ya kuwakosoa?
Sina haki ya kuwakosoa juu hata nikivoti saa hii itakuwa waste of time.
So it appears that as things stands, the ballot day will just be another holiday for them, another day to stay off school or work and rest. And I, at this point, rest, Your Honor.
My lords, ladies, I will ask the two gentlemen, you can have your seats. What about those of you who are undecided? You are open and willing to vote, but just don't know who to vote for. Why? Or is it that you are undecided whether you will vote altogether? Yusuf Mahat Abdi leads us into those submissions.
Justice Wanjiku, the clock is ticking. The politicians are talking, but some people are yet to be convinced on who to vote for or whether to vote altogether. I present their views to this court.
I'm not yet convinced to vote for any candidate because we are tired for voting wrong leaders. Tumepitia ukame mingi sana, insecurity, teachers crisis, na hakuna leader yoyote amejitokeleza kusaidia watu.
Bado sijaamua kuvote kwa nini? Because manze kila time una vote, mimi sioni wase kako ndio wanafanya. Daily kanjua wananisumbua, wanataka do. Then mambo na insecurity manze, huwezi funga kazi kwa umechelewa. Juu ukipiga kona fulani wase wanakugoja na mavisu manze. Hii cost of living manze iko very high. Manze afanya kitu kama anataka kura manze.
What will influence this mind to settle on specific individuals on the 6 ballots they are to be taken on the 9th of August? Those are my submissions.
Now, a lot of young people are sounding disgruntled, it seems. Now, this court would like to invite Zacchaeus Mosame to table different voices and views to this matter.
Your Honor, many times when Kenyans see very old and frail individuals line up to vote, they get wowed and get curious as to why they do it. And from what this court has heard so far, this could be a very good opportunity to hear the views of such individuals.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Saulo Oko. Mimi nimepiga kura mara 8 kwa maisha yangu kufikia wakati huu. Nikipiga ya mwaka huu itakuwa ya 9. Rais hayati Kenyatta nimempigia kura mara 1. Rais Moi nimempigia kura wakati wa utawala wake wote. Piga kura kuna umuhimu sana sana. Maana yake mwenye napigia kura ndiye atakuja kukutawala katika huo msimu au huo muda mwenye atakuwa kwa kiti. Na kama utawala wake utakuwa na maamuzi mabaya, inamaanisha maisha yako yatakuwa mabaya. Hata uwe mfanyabiashara, uamuzi wa serikali unakuhusu. Kura ina make a difference. Inaleta utofauti mkubwa. Kwa mfano, wale wa Kenya ambao walipigia serikali ya kwanza ya Mwafrika kura, walileta serikali ya Mwafrika. Sio ni tofauti kutoka kwa serikali ya mkoloni. Wakati tumepiga kura 202 mwaka 2002 tukiingiza serikali ya NAK kupata kupata loan kwa banki ilikuwa shida sana kabla serikali ya NAK. Kwa wale ambao nyinyi pengine hamujakuwa katika biashara, kuna wakati ongeenda Barclays Bank waambiwa current account wanaweka 20,000 yenye uguzi. Ikifika 20,000 kwa account yako wewe huna pesa ya kutoa. Savings account 10,000 huna pesa. Lakini wakati serikali ya hayati Mwai Kibaki ilikuja, ikaleta hii mashirika. Moja ni ya kwamba wanasema watu wana feel results are predetermined. That's a feeling.
Mara yangu ya kwanza kupiga kura ni 92 wakati nilikuwa namchagua Kennedy Matiba. Alafu ilifanywa rigging, hakuweza kupata. Nikarudi kuchaguana 2002, lakini Uhuru akashindwa na Kibaki. Alafu mwishowe nimechagua Kibaki na nimechagua Uhuru. Naweza kuona hiyo ni mara ngapi nimechaguana. Na bado nitachaguana Tuesday next week. Vijana wetu ni wazuri, lakini vijana wetu wamelemewa na mambo ya ulevi. Wametumia mihadarati, madawa ya kulevya. Hata sasa ile tunashughulikia nchi yetu vile itakuwa, wao wako bali sana. Kwa hivyo ningehimiza vijana waachane na mambo ya ulevi, waendelee na kutengeneza nchi yetu ili tuweze kuendelea kama nchi zingine ya Afrika ama ya ng'ambo.
Tangu kura ianze amzaona mabadiliko mingi sana, kwa sababu wenye sisi tunapigia kura amejenga mjengo mzuri, hospitali hao naletwa, madaraja na njia pia mnapata. Na hata kulima mnaoneza sisi atu mahali ya kupatia kilimo. Ndio mimi naona ni kupiga kura ni jambo sana, kutoka uanze hiyo mimi naona ni kazi inakuwa mzuri.
Since I started voting, my votes in some cases has brought very good changes, improvements, and others actually never worked well too, simply because of the type of person we voted in. You may get somebody who is a development conscious, but then such a person may not get a chance of getting that position. So it depends on the person, because not all are bad, but it depends with the kind of person we have been voting for. But changes are there.
There are some cases whereby we say, I saw some changes, and we really enjoyed what we call voting. One, we had bursaries, which we did not have a long time before. So bursaries help what we call the youths and the children. That is one of the development I would say voting had brought. Again, schools. This what we call free education. It is because of voting. With us, we paid school fees all throughout till I finished school. But because of these changes, we had free education.
Your Honor, all this gold, they say, do the doubting Thomases view these views as golden insights? You be the judge.
So why is it important to vote as a matter of principle? Allow me to invite to take the stand Victor Nyongesa, the CEO of the Youth Agenda Kenya. You've had some of the concerns raised. What is your immediate response, especially to the two gentlemen who feel that they will not vote?
I've heard that those statements are somewhere else. And this is basically because I feel these young people are frustrated. These young people, for those ones who've participated in the elections before, they feel whoever they chose has not represented them as they expected. And that's why these young people are frustrated. Some of them are choosing not to vote. But still, there are a huge number of young people out there who are still going to vote, and they still understand the reason why they need to participate in this election.
All right. And Bwana Agutu, how old are you, if I may ask?
56 years old.
Mr. Agutu is 56 years old. So
Yes.
we have
Someone who's not voted once or twice,
Yes.
who is not willing to. So this disgruntlement is not just in the youth.
Okay, it cuts across all ages. There are those ones who are above 35 who are still also having the same issues. But just from my practical experience interacting with young people, sometimes this generalization of I'm not going to vote, sometimes it also has an effect or an impact to those ones who intend to participate for the first time.
So for the benefit of those who have already shared their views that they are not intending to vote,
yes,
maybe just tell us, why is it important to vote? Let's just take it from there.
Voting is their democratic right. And today, if they fail to vote, it's still giving an opportunity to those people who have not performed. They're giving them an opportunity again to go back to those offices and to continue serving. And that's the reason why, again, as young people will continue complaining.
We had my colleague Melita asking them whether those who say they are not going to vote, they don't intend to vote, whether they feel they'll have a right to complain if they do not vote and things are not going right. Do you think then, if for someone who does not vote, do you think that takes away their right to raise concern when things are not going well?
Okay, they have a right to raise concerns, but for me, I'll say, why should you complain when you had the opportunity to change that? You did not take part. You ignored. But now when things are not working for you, you start complaining. And that's why me, personally, I'm going to vote. I stand here as a young person, a leader somewhere, but also I'm a youth. And I'm going to vote just because I want to be accountable. When the next government performs, I want to celebrate together with the people. If they do not perform, I also want to be held accountable because I'm the one who elected that bad leader who is in office.
We've heard the gentleman here saying they feel there'll be no difference. I will go cast my vote, but it's almost like a case of just same monkeys, just different forests.
I totally understand the gentleman, but what I've been telling young people out there is we need to have this, we need to embrace a culture where we will vote for people. If they do not perform, after 5 years again, we will vote for others until that time when we'll get the right people in office, the people who will do the things that we want as young people.
What if they don't find there's anyone who has those attributes on the ballot?
That's a tricky one because we've seen even in certain counties people complaining that we have two people whom again it's like they are going to vote for the less evil because the people who presented themselves probably do not meet their expectation. But it has been like that over the years. Unfortunately, the people who have the qualities to lead, most of them do not present themselves out there, do not vie. And that's why the individuals who master the art of politics are the ones always out there going for those political seats. But of course, in such a tricky situation, then the citizen will go for the less evil one.
Bwana Gashumuku, unasikia kama umeshawishika, unaweza kuja dakika moja tu hapa. Utuambie kama umeshawishika na kama utapiga kura, ama ni nini haswa inaweza fanya ushawishike ili tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 uende pale kwenye.
Siwezi juu ya kitu moja. Ukiangalia kulingana na situation penye iko saa hii, hata government yenye iko saa hii ina insist fulani atakuwa fulani. So hata nikienda kupiga kura hainisaidii. Mimi naweza kuwa nataka fulani, lakini hata government yenyewe inatoka iko nje kukwambia huyu ndiye atakuwa kwa lazima. So hata mimi sina uwezo.
So waoni kama kura yako itakuwa na maana?
Mwenye ataingia aingie tu. Juu hata niko na kura nimechukua.
Thank you very much for making your submissions to this court. Decisions. Catch 22. Divisions and indecision on Decision 2022. Let's let these things sink in so we can stay afloat. So much so that despite the long queues, we'll stay and vote. Not because some bloke is going to pay some notes, just to gain some praise and gloat. Yet they and leadership are a mismatch like neighs on goats. That would mean they have a hoarse voice. But point here is your vote
your choice, your voice. Speak up, be heard in the ballot, not just repeating what others say. You're not a parrot. That's a bad trend. Don't allow opportunity for change to have a sad end. And we can't deny reality. People are disgruntled. Hopes are shriveled or dismantled. Who will pick up on this mantle of offering hope, free of all these scandals? Whatever the case, don't kiss your voice goodbye. It will determine the price of what you buy. So get up, go to the ballot, and lock the vote. Do it until your vote rocks the boat of status quo, if that's your concern. You're the judge. Make the call. And this is News Court.